everyone. Some of you have been speaking to already upstairs. So today I'm going to talk about LinkedIn. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me before I start. So when I was around 18, I read a book on the psychology of shopping. Does anybody know why they put the milk and the bread at the back of a store? Why? Yeah, because you have to walk through it. I love audience participation, so you can talk to me, it's okay. And they play slow music, so you'll walk slowly through, and they have the sweets at the front, and so you'll buy them. I just thought that was super interesting, that they were using psychology with marketing and sales, and something that I wanted to do myself. So I went and did my degree in psychology, and I spoke to lots of different people who were doing that in that field, and I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, like a lot of people maybe here today. So I had what I would call a quarter-life crisis, and I went to the Gaiety School of Acting for a year and thought I might be famous. Didn't work out, so I went back and did an internship with the Chamber of Commerce in my hometown, Donegal, in case you can't notice from the accent here. And I could see a lot of businesses doing the same thing and expecting different results. They didn't really want to stand out, didn't really want to think differently about their business, and I wanted to work with people who did. So I started my own business, and I called it Outside the Box, and that was 9.5 years ago. And now I work with businesses on their brand. And it's not just businesses, it's people like you as well. So you are your brand, and what you have online is super important, especially when it comes to LinkedIn, because you can guarantee when you go into interviews, they are Googling you after, and what are they saying? You want them to see the best version of you. You know, when you're looking through a LinkedIn profile, you want to see that you stand out, that you're a little bit different, and I'm going to show you how to do that today, hopefully. Any questions? We can do them at the end, maybe. And usually I go around everyone and kind of figure it out, but I know I don't have much time here today, so we'll just kind of go on with LinkedIn. So a lot of recruiters actually use LinkedIn. A lot of business people use it. It's used for marketing, for networking, for sales. A lot of guys I've been talking to upstairs and girls have their LinkedIn profile and have it kind of static and aren't really using it to network. If you meet anyone here today, add them on LinkedIn and message them and say, it was great to meet you. You know, I'd love a job in your industry or your company if you ever think of it. Like, here's my CV. You can send it over there as well. If there's a company you just want to work with, go and find the HR person. Go find them online and message them. Hey, I would love to work with that company. You know, use it to your advantage as well. It's not just passive. It's not just something that sits there. So it's used for personal updates, to get visitors to your blog post, you know, build relationships like I'm saying. And it's also a constant reminder of people. So once you give a CV, they might read it once and put it in a filing cabinet and then it's gone. Whereas LinkedIn, if you're posting on there and you're updating it all the time, your network are getting notifications of everything that's happening. So if you do a new course or if you add a new skill, make sure you're adding it to your LinkedIn profile as well. Make sure you're also posting on LinkedIn, not just having your CV up there and not really using it, because you can stand out that way as well. A lot of companies are using LinkedIn now for job searching, so it's important that you're there and using keywords. And we're going to go through today the front page of LinkedIn, so what you kind of need to make it stand out and look good. So the first thing is your profile picture. So what is your picture at the minute? Is it nothing? Is it just a shadow? Because that's the first thing people actually look at. So this is a psychological view of when people are looking at LinkedIn, what they spend the most time looking at. And you'll see from the red, it's your profile picture and it's your headline. So those are the two most important things. And the LinkedIn profile picture is very different from any other profile picture you might have. So it's just you in it, your head and shoulders. And I would always try to have the picture either face on or face in the profile, not kind of these ones where your back's away from it or anything like that. And a picture in your likeness as well. So if I met you at an event, I would know it was you. So, and obviously you would have no cigarettes or alcohol or anything like that in it. It would just be very professional. How you would show up to an interview is how I would have my profile picture. I worked with a client who was a florist in down the country. I say down the country, I'm down the country now. I'm thinking I'm still in Donegal. And she was a great florist, but her profile picture on LinkedIn was a pirate. And you'd think, okay, she's in a costume, she was in Halloween, she's fun. And I might hire her if I wanted some flowers or whatever, but would I hire her for a corporate event? Would I hire her for something serious? As soon as I see that picture, I am making a judgment, and that's life, I'm afraid. So the better we can make that, the better. I would keep it the same across all networks. A lot of people I've been meeting today as well have been saying on your actual paper CV, maybe have your photo up the top of that as well. So when they Google you, they see the picture and they add you on LinkedIn. Also, from psychology, people resonate with faces. Like, I have a pop-up upstairs, my face is on it. The same picture's on my LinkedIn, the same picture's on my business card. If you have 100 CVs in front of you and there's a photo of you on it, they're going to resonate with that. They're going to look at that one, they're going to remember you. Just a little way to stand out. According to LinkedIn, profiles with a profile picture are 7 times more likely to be viewed than those without it. So if you don't have a profile picture, I'm already thinking it's probably not filled out quite well, so why would I add her there? Only you and your picture, and don't upload one not in your likeness. So this is my current one, but this was also me. So it doesn't look like me because I was completely blonde. So when I changed, I had to change. And even today, someone said to me, your hair's different still, because I put a few highlights in. So try and keep it that if someone met you at an offline event or an online event, they would know you. As well, even before you came here, it's too late now me saying this, but it might have been an idea to find out who was actually exhibiting, connect with them on LinkedIn and say, it'd be really great to meet you. One of the other speakers, Pat, actually did that to me. And then when he came up, he was like, hey, Emma, how's it going? And we already kind of were warm and knew each other. So it's about creating that connection before you even meet someone. If you're going for an interview, maybe connecting with the people that were going to be on the panel. So it's just who you are. Then the headline is the other bit. So that is what's going to make me either connect with you or not connect with you. You can make it something funny or something interesting, or you can tell them exactly what you're looking for. I'm looking for opportunities in X. So if a recruiter is looking through LinkedIn, they know exactly what you're looking for and why they should connect with you or why they should offer you a job. So I've changed mine a couple of times. Obviously, I'm running a business, so it's a bit different for me. And I'm talking about like what I do. So that's on everywhere I am. So kind of figure out what your headline should be. So what job do you want? What are you looking for opportunities in? And maybe even what makes you different. So I love tech. I'm looking for opportunities in UX design. I'm making this up, obviously. But just kind of stand out that little bit, and that can help you be noticed. Also, a lot of people don't put a background photo. I had a girl up there who is into UX design. Obviously, design is big, so she has a lovely background photo in her. See the Emma Boylan Marketing Psychology PR? Make sure you're using that space as well to sell yourself and say what you're into. So then the next bit is the summary or the about section. So it's like the cover letter of your CV. So this is really where you can stand out. You can have 2,000 characters, but a lot of it is the same. So if you go on to, let me take someone here, victims or volunteers. Sorry, I just spoke to you. So tell us what you want to do. What we decided upstairs? Research and development? Yep. Okay, so looking for opportunities in research development would be his headline, and then his summary section will be what he brings to the table. So and you can write it like a story. Like I stood up here today and said, since I was 18, when I read a book on the psychology of shopping, I loved it. I was into it. So straight away, it's a story that you're going to remember. So as an example, who was the 21st president of the United States of America? I did that in America once. I thought they might know, but they didn't. What did Cinderella lose at the bottom of the stairs? Slipper. We remember stories and we forget facts. So if you can tell you that about section like a story about like why you're doing what you're doing, why you love it, why you want experience in it, because people buy people. They want someone who is going to stand out, who's going to be different. They can teach you any skill, but if you can show that you have a good attitude, that you're someone who's going to stand out in that organisation, who's someone's going to help it, and someone who actually wants to do it, who actually has a why behind what they're doing, then that's where you can stand out in this section as well. Because the amount of profiles I see that are just the same thing. I'm an goal-oriented team player, I'm blah, 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 and it's the same technical stuff. Yes, have those keywords in there as well, but make sure that you're standing out with a little bit of why and a little bit of your personality. This is actually a list of the most overused words on LinkedIn. So, like I'm saying, extensive experience, innovative, motivated, results-oriented. That's fine. And like one of the girls that actually came up to me, she had all those words, but she had something along beside it saying an example of how she was a team player. I worked with a team of 6 people, and I was able to motivate them to make 100,000 in sales, or whatever it is. So make sure that if you're using those words, you're telling me how you actually demonstrated that. And they're going to ask you that in the interview anyway. It's also the summary and the headline are the most important spots for keywords. So if you're looking for research and development jobs, you need to be using those words. If you're looking for jobs in IT, in pharmaceutical, whatever it is, make sure you're using those words in there because that's where recruiters are looking. I also have seen a lot that were like a big block of text. So make sure you're breaking it up. No one wants to read a big block of text. No one who here reads it anymore. We have about a 10-second attention span. I'm surprised you're still listening to me here at this moment in time. So really break it up with headers, subheaders, bullet points, any ways you can do it. That's just an example of one way you could do it. You could have your story, so your why you do what you do. Why you're doing the degree you're doing, if you're doing a degree, or why you're doing the job you're doing at the minute, why you love to work in the industry you want to get into, your most recent achievements, experiences, what do you want to do, describe your work style, your characteristics, and then summarize at the end. Don't forget your contact information at the very end, so tell them how to contact you, and explain that you're looking for new opportunities or opportunities in X, Y, or Z. And you might even put at the bottom like specialist skills if you want to put some skills in there as well and talk about that. I'll let you take a wee photo if you want. Okay. Keep your profile up to date as well. So if you're adding new skills or you've got new courses you're doing or anything like that, make sure that you're updating it. And if you change your picture, like I said. I'm going to have to move on from this now. Your LinkedIn URL as well, so you can actually change your URL so you're found. So on LinkedIn, and I'll go into LinkedIn now in a second if I can go on the internet here. You can change that. At the minute in my mind at the start said Emma Boylan 54321 /749, and I went in and edited it, so it just said Emma Boylan. So if you search Emma Boylan, I'm going to come up. Or I was with a girl there who wants to be a marine biologist. She put in her name plus marine biologist. So that's what people are searching. So it's a better way to find you. And if you're putting it on your CV, it looks better as well, that URL. You can also join groups. So groups in your industry. There's obviously job opportunities there as well, but it also shows that you're interested in your industry. So like I might join a marketing group or an entrepreneurship group or a business development group. So think about your industry and what groups you can join, and you can engage and network with others there as well. There is a student section, so a lot of people who are talking to me today maybe don't have the job experience, but they have a lot of experience from what they've studied. So there's a student section where you can put in like projects you've worked on, honours or awards you've got, organisations you've been part of, test scores, courses, all that good stuff. Volunteer experience is super important as well. So if you're doing any kind of volunteer experience, it's said that when someone goes onto your profile and they see that you've done volunteer experience, they're more interested in hiring you because they know that you're motivated, you're willing to work for free, everyone loves that, but you're willing to get yourself out there. So if you've done anything like that, put it on. Then your experience, so that's just a section, you can take it straight from your CV of, where you've worked previously. A lot of people might say to me, well, I worked in a chip shop when I was 15. Do I need to put that in there? No, not necessarily. You can keep the ones that you actually are relevant to the experience. And if the other ones you want to put in, just make them relevant to what the job you want now. So in that chip shop, I learned teamwork. I learned hard work. I learned how to, so make sure that you're doing it. If there's a big gap, maybe just explain that gap. You weren't in like Mountjoy or anything like that. You were just, in college or you're doing whatever. So just make sure that you're explaining if you don't have it all in there. Also, you can write, what you've done, but also write your achievements in each of those. I seen a girl upstairs again, and she said, one of my achievements was in this job, I made them X amount of money by changing their website and getting X more visitors. That's something that's going to stand out, So, yes, your roles and responsibilities, but also what you did for that organisation that made you different. Then as well, which I see a lot of people don't actually have, is your recommendations or your endorsements. So that's where people actually go on and say, yes, Emma's good at what she does, and she did it in my organisation, and it was great. So where are you going to get those? It could be from your lecturers if you're in college. It could be from your previous jobs that weren't even to do with that, or the internships you did. Or, someone who just knows you well, if that's what you want. Like, I've seen Emma work for over 20 years, and she's amazing at what she does, and blah, blah, blah. So people believe what other people say. And if it's great you saying that you're great and you can do all these things, but if you have other people saying, yes, she is good at what she does, or yes, he is good at what he does, that's where people start going, oh, well, if they say it, and it's psychology, to be honest. You can also put your skills in there, so you just have a list of skills that you can put in, so you can be found for those as well. So make sure you have those filled out, and other people can click and endorse you for those skills. So for instance, I have psychology as one of mine. Let's say 30 people endorse me for that. If someone's looking at my profile, they say, well, 30 people can't be lying, or she paid 30 people to click that button. But, it's just another way to boost up your profile. You can also, if you search skills, so if I searched social media marketing on the right-hand side there, it gives me a list of other skills I can add to my profile. It gives me a list of marketing professionals, so people who have that skill. But it also gives me companies that have hired people based on that skill as well. So I can go into those companies, start following them, maybe connect with the HR people, let them see my stuff as well, and locations. Also, I think I covered this over there, but if there's a position that you're really interested in going into, find someone on LinkedIn who has already done it, go into their profile and look at all the courses they did, where they studied it, where they worked. Even connect with them and say you're looking for some information. Would they be willing to have a coffee or a virtual coffee with you to kind of give you a bit of background into how they got to where they are? Just be aware that when you do go into someone's profile on LinkedIn, they can get a notification. So if it's someone you shouldn't be looking at, just be aware of that. You can put your profile on private. And then obviously you can search jobs as well on LinkedIn. So people or companies put their jobs up on LinkedIn, and you can actually apply directly through. You can get notifications of jobs in your area. So it's a really good, not just a passive network, not a passive job magnet. You can physically go in and apply as well. And what I would do is after I apply for the job, connect with a HR person, connect to people working there, message them and say, I just applied, would love you to look at my CV and would love to connect here in case there's anything else that comes up. It's all about standing out just that little bit and making connections with people. Something I do teach people to do as well is if, let's say you wanted to be a business development manager, go in and look at the job spec, go through it and see if that is actually, does that look like your profile? Do you have those skills on your profile? Do you need to add some? Is there a course you need to add? I was speaking to a girl and she was saying, well, maybe I should do this course then if that's what people are looking for. So it just gives you a little bit of motivation to make sure that your profile is right as well. So a lot of things that are something that people don't do is actually then post on LinkedIn. So actually, like you would post on Facebook or Instagram or wherever else. So actually writing posts. What do you post? Post articles to do. Now, anything you wouldn't say in an interview, I probably wouldn't say up here. So it's not about, hey, I was out last night, it was brilliant, had a couple of drinks. It's not that. It's, I was at this job fair today. I'm so excited about getting a job in X industry. Spoke to loads of really great people. Take a photo with me if you want. Take a photo with whoever and stick it up there and say that you're actively out looking for jobs. Put up articles to do with what you're doing. That girl that was doing marine biology, she had up that she was in with the swimming with the dolphin. It's online with what she's doing, but it's still a little bit personal as well. So it can help you stand out. I think I have it here yet. So obviously you don't write, still looking for a job, God is terrible, anything negative like that. Or personal things I probably stay away from. I would also post around once a week if possible. If you post around once a week, you're more likely to be seen by recruiters. But even if you can only do once a month, something is better than nothing. So maybe try doing that and that will help you stand out. It's how businesses are now looking for people is online, and they definitely are Googling you anyway. So you want the best version of you to be up there. So make that profile really, really good. You can use the job section as well. I would build a list. So like when I was speaking to people upstairs, I was saying, who do you actually want to work with? Which company? Someone said Boston Scientific. I was like, right, let's go into them. Let's look at their employees. Let's connect with them there and let's message them. Who else do you want to work with? So build a list of companies you would like to work with, start connecting with them online and building it there. And then if you're posting as well, they're going to see those posts and say, God, she's really into marketing. She really knows her stuff about UX design or research and development or whatever it is. And that's where they kind of nearly come to you. So you kind of nearly want to be headhunted as well as anything else. Make connections with people. You can get an introduction to people. So, for instance, do I have that? No. if I go on to Google and I see that I want a job in there and I can see that I have connections and one of my connections is John, I can message John and say, hey John, I see you work in Google. I'm really looking for a job in there. Who would I speak to? And he says, oh, you speak to Mary. Then you connect with Mary and you say, hey Mary, John sent me your way and I really would love a job. Is there anything I can do? And it's already a warm connection because John sent you. I used to do it in door-to-door sales. I used to get into one house and then say, oh, Mary down the road said I should come in here. And they were like, well, geez, if Mary said it, you must be good. So it's the same kind of thing. So it's making that connection online as well and getting that introduction. So the more connections you have in LinkedIn, the better, because the more they can kind of recommend you to other people as well. And follow the company pages. So they have a personal page on LinkedIn, but they also have a company page. So if there's a company that you want to work with, make sure that you're following their company. And they have loads of updates about jobs and stuff there as well. If you share something once a week on LinkedIn, you're 10 times more likely to be seen by a hiring manager. So it's once a week, you're 10 times more likely to be seen. So for that alone, it's worth it. I have a little bit of tips there, and each one has a link. So if you want it, I don't know if I can send it, or come up to me after and give me your email address or whatever, and I'll send it over to you. It's just like if you want to build your network, update your profile, ask for recommendations, all of that will link to tell you how to do it. Finally, I think, okay? LinkedIn is one of the most effective ways to find jobs. A lot of people don't even want a paper CV anymore. I don't know if you've been talking to people around here. They want you to apply online. They want to see that you have your own personal brand as well. And that's something I do with people, building your own personal brand. So you're really standing out in your industry. And LinkedIn is one of the best ways to do it. So after this, add me, Emma Boylan, on LinkedIn. I'll be checking everyone, making sure you're all updating and all that stuff. Connect, engage, populate your profile, and if you are... Actually, I just have a couple more things. So a couple more tips. You can put your profile on private. So when you are searching people, if you want to look at other people who might be competitors in your industry, you can do that. But I would keep it on public. So if you are searching HR people, they get a notification and they say, oh, there's Mary, John, Joe, and I would like to connect back with them. Be a little bit personal as well. And I don't mean personal as in I have a sore toe and I need to tell you about it. I mean personal as in like your story, your why. Sometimes they can be quite clinical, especially the summary sections, and I don't really get who you are as a person. I'm actually going back to do a master's in applied behaviour analysis, and for my cover letter, I literally just told them a story about why I love what I do and about me, and I didn't keep it like really clinical. And that was one of the things they said that really stood out to them. So maybe try and tell your story on there and be a little bit more personal. Get connected and engage with people. So if you're interested in making your LinkedIn look amazing, you can come up to me after and we can have a chat about it. I'm doing a little offer for everyone here today. I'm upstairs doing the career clinic as well, so you get some free advice as well as that. And I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.
Thanks so much for that, Emma. I might just pick your brain about something really quickly. So I suppose in terms of, you say it's very important to make connections and stuff like that on LinkedIn. How do you go about doing that? Should you're connecting, you're following, or you're messaging? What way do you kind of go about that, and what do you say?
It's off here. So I used to connect with everybody who ever connected with me on LinkedIn. It's actually called a Lion, Lion. So it's a LinkedIn open networker. And then I found that I was getting a lot of spam. So I'm a little bit more selective in who I actually connect with. And if I can see that they have a good profile picture, that they have a good, about section, they actually are active on LinkedIn, I'm going to connect with them. Or you can actually send a message before you connect to say, hey, Emma, look, I met you at this event, or I'm really into UX design, or I'm really into R&D, and I would love to connect with you here. Give them a reason to actually connect back. They're more likely to connect then as well. So you can send a little message before and give them a reason. I wouldn't go directly into, I want a job in your company, so connect with me now so I can spam you with CVs. Just literally a little note to kind of connect with them. But you don't have to know people to connect with them. It's fine. Like even when I was saying connect with HR people, they were like, really? Do you think I can do that? That's what it's about. It's about networking. It's like coming into this room and saying, maybe I shouldn't talk to the people in these stands just in case they think I'm too forward, That's what it's about. Connect with anyone you think could potentially be good for you and your career.
Absolutely. I suppose on that note as well, I suppose LinkedIn is kind of a space where it's okay to brag. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, for sure. Like anything, in the interview, you're going to brag about yourself, hopefully, in a good way. And there's, the fine line between bragging and sounding arrogant, but like it is the place to sell you. There's no point in saying, I'm okay at this and maybe I could be better. You have to sell yourself and say, here's my achievements, here's what I did, here's how much I made for this company, here's what I did for this company, because that's a chance to stand out. And we're not really that, well, I won't say that. Some of us in Ireland aren't that really great at talking about ourselves and how great we are. But it is your chance to kind of, brag, definitely.
Yeah, because I think it can be a bit jarring for those of you who are not on LinkedIn to go onto it and everyone's kind of saying, oh, I did this and I did that and the other, but don't be afraid from that is really what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. And like look at what other people are saying as well, and kind of see what you could say based on that, get inspiration from other people's profiles, but definitely stand out and talk about yourself and say all your achievements and stuff like that. Make sure you have everything you could, like I seen some CVs where they had courses on the CVs and they didn't have it on their LinkedIn profile. And it's just, there's no point in doing it. The next best thing to doing the right thing is telling people you're doing the right thing. So you need to get that message out there.
Lovely. And I suppose, so you're going to be up at the back there. And are you kind of doing like a LinkedIn review with people or just...
I can up there as well, yeah. And then I can also help you fill out the whole thing, but obviously not up there because it'll be too much. But we can chat about it if you want to come up. I'm up the top until 4 o'clock, is it? Yeah, until 4 o'clock.
Okay, that's perfect. Thanks so much. We'll give her a round of applause. Thanks so much, Emma.